Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Gorgie Boys podcast with myself, Graeme Duthie. Hope you're all doing well whenever you're watching this. I wanted to do a video on this. I've not done one for a good few weeks because I've been busy doing other stuff, but I wanted to make one ahead of our game at Rugby Park on Saturday as league leaders Hearts. How good does that sound, by the way? Travel to Rugby Park to take on Kilmarnock, third place Kilmarnock, in a difficult game. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the game previous to that. International break has obviously happened. Thank God that's out of the way and normal football's back. But before that, Hearts had taken on Hibs at Tynecastle Park. Now, in the build-up to that game, on my TikTok channel, I had said this could be a really good game of football. Hearts going out this in really good form. Hibs were going in a decent form as well. Had gone to Celtic Park the previous week and drew 0-0. We just hammered Falkirk. So there was a lot of positivity going at this game. Last season, we didn't win a derby game. We drew 1 and lost 2. Deserved to lose both those games. Hearts were very poor last season, as we well know. But could Derek McInnes keep up the positivity at Hearts just now? And could he keep up his record? That record being that he has never lost a home game against Hibs for any team he has managed. Now, Hearts always kept the same team 3 weeks in a row. We went with Alexander Swallow in goal, who's not conceded, obviously, yet. Hopefully that continues. Left back Stephen Kingsley, right back McEntee, with the centre-halves being Finlay and Halkett. On the left-hand side, Kizridis. On the right-hand side, Harry Milne continued there, and Benny and Devlin in the centre. And up front, Lawrence Shankland and Claudio Braga. Now, I probably should have known the game wouldn't be great the way Hibs kicked off. When they played the ball back to Jack Iredale, who punted it up in the air. Now, of course, conditions weren't great. It was very wet. It was very windy. It wasn't great. But I should have known then it was going to be a poor game of football. And it really ended up that way. It was not a good game. But derby games are about winning the battle and winning the game. Doesn't matter how bad it is, just win the game and get those bragging rights back that we didn't have last season. But it didn't really start off very well. I thought Hearts were quite flat. Didn't really get the creative players into the game. You're looking at likes of Kizridis, Braga, Shankland. We couldn't get into the game. But Hibs didn't really manage to get their guys like Boyle and Bowie into the game. I thought Hearts dealt with them very well. Hibs did have a chance early on, of course, on Martin Boyle that was saved by Schwoloff, but we created very little. I thought we had more of the ball, but didn't do a lot with it. We had one real opportunity. Kizridis looking to try and do what he did against Falkirk, cutting in the right hand on the right foot and bending his effort just over the bar, almost a carbon copy. But we couldn't really get any real control of the game. We weren't really creating a lot. Neither goalkeeper had a lot to do. Second half, very much similar. You know, it kind of had the same pattern. The only real chance before us, the big moment, was Martin Boyle, where he took advantage of a slip-up in the Hearts defence, goes through on goal. Schwoloff comes out. I think he does well to narrow the angle. Boyle chips it over him, but hits the bar and comes back out again. Obviously had a goal disallowed for offside, which was definitely offside, but we didn't really create enough in that game. I was disappointed at how Hearts played, and it was very much looking like a 0-0 draw all the way. Neither team really did enough to win the game. But the one thing that Hearts have this season, apart from a very different mentality, is options off the bench. Now, Sabah Kerjota, who came off the bench, up until that moment, had played 36 minutes for Hearts and hadn't really offered a lot. He came off the bench a few times, wasn't really doing very much, but he certainly made up for that here. What a ball. The last minute of the game, on that left-hand side, cuts back on his left foot. What a delivery. Into the box. It's so hard for a defender to deal with, for the goalkeeper to deal with. He can't come out. It's a brilliant ball into the box. And what a finish from Craig Halkett, who, of course, was a striker in his younger days, and it showed. What a finish that was. Tynecastle was obviously going absolutely mental, rightly so. It was a massive, massive goal from Craig Halkett. And obviously, you know at that point, with a minute to go, you know you've basically won the game. And Halkett mentioned that after the game, the celebration he had, because he looked up and seen what minute it was and knew that was the end of the game. It was such a great moment. And like I said, having not won a derby last season, it was important that we won that game and kept that run going. Had we got a draw, it would have been disappointing, because I thought Hibs were there for the taking, and thankfully that's what happened. As I said, I don't think either side deserved to win the game. There was not a lot of quality in the game, but then Edinburgh Derbies, there isn't usually a lot of quality in anyway. It just takes that one moment, maybe it's a mistake or a set piece. It's that one moment that can win the game for you, and we managed to find it. But that cross from Kerjota, honestly, what a delivery. And I just think it goes to show what I've said before, and when I've done different videos on this, the squad depth we now have. For so long, we've had a really good starting 11, but you've looked at the bench and thought, there's not much on the bench to change that. That's different this season. You now look at the bench and think, we've got options here. And it's so good to see, because you starting 11 every week has been fantastic, but to have options off the bench that come on and change it, and you've still not even got a record signing Ajew yet to come back. He won't be fit for Kilmarnock. To have options off the bench that we just didn't have last season is so much more encouraging. And like I said, to have Ajew still to come back as well. He won't be fit for Kilmarnock apparently, but he should be fit for Celtic. You've obviously still got guys like Hoff as well that aren't back yet. It's just great to have so many options. And you look at guys like Elton Kabangu, you've got Kabore, you've got guys like Wilson as well. Wilson scoring a hat-trick for the 21s. I know it was only against Gibraltar, but it's still a hat-trick. And Kabore, what a moment for him. To come off the bench with Burkina Faso in the 62nd minute, in a game that if they won against Ethiopia, they knew they had a chance of the playoff. To come off the bench and get a hat-trick is a fantastic achievement for him. And I believe he's the first Hearts player to score a senior international hat-trick, which is brilliant. So again, he's busting for a chance to get in that team, and he just can't get a look in just now. But it's about being ready when you have to come off the bench. You have to be ready to stake a claim, and these guys are doing that. So that Derby win, while it wasn't a great game, nobody cared, because the main thing was getting 3 points. And I thought McInnes, at the time I thought, these subs are a little bit late. He's leaving it too late. But you know what? He knows what he's doing, because he got the win, he got the result, and it keeps up that unbeaten record that we've got. The only blemish at the moment in the league is that draw against Motherwell. But to come back from 3-0 down and get that draw shows a mentality from Hearts. It shows that we've got a team that is going to fight till the end. And you look at the late goals they scored against Livingston, against Dundee United, and against Hibs. We keep going till the end. Something that I think this Hearts team hasn't really done for a long time. So there's a lot of really good things happening at Hearts just now. And so far, I am loving it. The only blemish that, obviously, in the League Cup, that defeat to St Mirren on penalties, we could have won that game as well, to be honest. But that's football for you. But this weekend, we go to Kilmarnock. Now, of course, there's a lot of hatred from Kilmarnock fans over the way Derek McInnes left. McInnes has spoken about this, and he did say that he wanted to wait, obviously, until Kilmarnock was safe, which he did. He wanted to do the right thing. But he did say that when Hearts came around, if Hearts came calling, he wanted to talk to us. And Hearts are big called Kilmarnock. We all know that. When Hearts come, he wanted to speak to us. But he wanted to wait till Kilmarnock was safe. And I like that. You know, he didn't want to come straight away. He wanted to wait till Kilmarnock were safe. They were safe, and he came and talked to Hearts. But there's a lot of Kilmarnock fans who are not happy about the way this was handled. And I get it. But he did a good job at Kilmarnock. He took them out the Championship, got European football. Yes, last season wasn't great. They were down the bottom with us, but he kept them up. But I think there's a lot of extra added spice to this game on Saturday, because we've got 3,500 Hearts fans going to this game, which is absolutely outstanding. Rugby Park's going to be packed, the away end anyway. And I'm really intrigued to see what we're going to do in this game. Will we go with the same team that we've kept for the last 3 games in a row? Will we change it? Now, I think even the news put up a post earlier saying that we might make a couple of changes. I think it's harsh to take anyone out, but I don't understand if he did change it, because I do think Kilmarnock play like a 5-3-2. So will they go for a bit more bodies in midfield? Could they play Magnuson? Could they play McEntee in midfield and put Graeme back at right back, who is fit? I think he has been training this week. There's a lot of things he needs to try and work out, but it's difficult taking one out. We've won the last 3 games. We've not conceded in the last 3 games. So it's hard to take anyone out. But my team for Saturday, I would have stuck with the 4-4-2. My team would have been Schwoloff in goal, because you're not going to drop him. 3 games in a row, 3 clean sheets. I'd probably put Milne at left back again, because I think he's done okay at right mid. Maybe he wasn't great against Hibs, but he's done well the last couple of games before that. And it's not like Kings has done a lot wrong, but I just would like to see Milne back in his natural position. Right back, Butch Gremick, because I do think we need him back in there. It's probably the only position that I think we're maybe still a little bit weak at, because if you don't have Butch Gremick, we've let Forrester go. You're having to play Steinwender a centre-back, McEntee a midfielder in there, who've done well. Don't get me wrong, they have done well. But I'd just like to see Butch Gremick back in there and see what he can do. And the 2 centre-backs, Finlay and Halkett, they have been outstanding for me so far. And I'll come to kind of contract talks in a minute. On the left, Kazaridas obviously has to start. On the right, I'd be playing Kajota. I want to see what I can do. I think I want to see a bit more natural width on that right-hand side. And Kajota, after what doing his Hibs off the bench, I'd like to see him get a chance. And I think he could do well, actually. And he's clearly got a very good delivery on him. Centre of the park, I'd go Benny and McEntee. Now, the only reason I've taken Devlin out is because the travelling he's been doing with Australia. Now, I know he hasn't played the 2 games for them, but it's just that travel. So that's the only reason I've taken him out, or they would have him in there. And then the 2 up front, Braga and Shankland. You have to play them. I know there's talk about playing Kabore or Wilson, but they just need to bide their time. Because right now, I don't think you're dropping Shankland and Braga. Shankland's got 7 goals and Braga's got 6. They've got a really good link-up. They've got a really good partnership. For me, I'd be keeping those 2 up front. But again, options off the bench. I have to say as well, when Kabangas came off the bench, he's actually done quite well. He's looked quite lively. He's getting himself some decent movement. He's staying on side as well. So he's causing a problem as well. So there's plenty of options there. If we were going to go 3 in midfield, I kind of like to see what Magnuson can do. Because that St Mirren game, he got booked early on, couldn't really get in at the game after that. I don't really blame him for that. Because going to Paisley is not easy. It's a difficult venue to go to, like Rugby Park is. But I'm intrigued to see what McInnes is going to do. Now, somebody asked me in a TikTok I did earlier on today that do I think McInnes will overthink it for Saturday? I don't think he will. I genuinely don't think he will. Obviously, he'll know Kilmarnock very well. Now, I think Kilmarnock have done okay so far this season. They are only 1 defeat in the league. They've drawn a lot of games, but they're only 1 defeat, and that was Celtic. Again, they shouldn't have lost for that penalty. Never a penalty. It's going to be difficult. And like I say, the extra added spice of Derek McInnes going back there, when a lot of Kilmarnock fans do not like McInnes in the way that he left. But as I said, he wanted to wait till Kilmarnock was safe. He did that, and I think he did a good job. So it's going to be it'll be very loud on Saturday. He's going to get booed, but McInnes won't mind that. It's Waterford Ducks back to him. He's at Hearts just now, and what a job he's doing. Now, I've done an article. One of the guys on one of the podcasts that I do, Laurie Finlayson, who's a Kilmarnock fan, asked me to do an article for him, which I've done. And he asked me about, was I surprised at how well McInnes has done so far? And I have to say, I think I am. But I think most Hearts fans are. And I'll be honest, before McInnes came in, I kind of thought, should we go down the foreign route? Look at what Aberdeen did with Jimmy Thielen. Obviously, won the Scottish Cup. League form, yes, wasn't great, but should we go down that route? But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, actually, McInnes makes sense. Very experienced, knows the Scottish game very well. I think he'll get the best out of players, and that's what he's done. But I don't think anyone could have seen what he was actually going to do. To take a team that were 7th last season, we were dreadful last season, absolutely awful. To take a team from there to be top of the league after 7 games, still unbeaten in the league, 19 points, 2 points clear of Celtic, is, I think, more than any Hearts fan really dreamed of, because I certainly didn't see that coming. Like, I said start the season, if we can get third, I'll be happy with that. I don't think we'll win the league, if I'm going to be honest. I would love to, but I don't think there's any reason that Hearts couldn't finish second. Now, do I think we'll fall off as bad as Aberdeen did last season? No, I don't. Because I think this squad, when we do lose a game, and it will happen, we're not going to go the season unbeaten, as much as I'd love that to happen. But I do think when we do get beat, we can pick that up again. I don't think we'll do what Aberdeen did last season, where they lost 1 game and then just kept spiralling. I do think if we lose 1 game, we'll pick it back up again. I think this squad and this manager are good enough to do that. And like I said as well, you've got options off the bench. So if anyone isn't performing, unlike last season, when players weren't performing, there was nobody to take their place. That's changed now. There are players on that bench ready to come in and take their place. So you have to play at a standard every week, and you have to deliver. And Derek McInnes has already said as well, he will not accept lazy practice. He will not accept laziness in training or games. Something, again, I think Hearts have needed for a while. That raising the bar, that raising the standard, where if you're not playing well, you don't play the next week. And that's great to see. So I do think we will maybe drop off a little bit, but it won't be as much as what Aberdeen did last season. I genuinely believe that. We've got a better squad than Aberdeen did last season, personally. But I do think this game on Saturday is huge. Going to Rugby Park is never easy, no matter who's in charge. But the fact that it's got that little added spice for Derek McInnes going back there is going to make it very, very difficult. But 3,500 Hearts fans there is going to be fantastic. They're going to make a big, big noise. And the Hearts fans coming out at Rugby Park and seeing that will just raise them even further and go, we need to play for these fans here. So it's going to be very interesting. I do believe that Hearts will win. I think it'll be tough, but I am going to say Hearts to win by 2-1. And then, again, you've got to take it one game at a time. But if we can go to Rugby Park and win, we'll go 5 points clear of Celtic before they play Dundee on Sunday, which I do think they'll win, because I don't rate Dundee at all. I think Stephen Press is going to be sacked sooner rather than later. And then after that, it is that game at Tynecastle, Hearts against Celtic. What a game that could be. And the thing is, Derek McInnes has already said as well that he will set up in every game to win the game, which is music to my ears and every Hearts fan. I don't want to see any team going anywhere to try and draw the game or not get beat. I want to see us going everywhere to try and win. We did that at Ibrox. You know, for the first time in a long, long time, Hearts went to Ibrox and actually were the better team for most of that game. We dominated that first half at Ibrox. Obviously, yes, the goal was fortunate with a handball from Lawrence Shanklin, but you take it, the amount of dodges assists we've had against Rangers and Celtic before, but we deserved to win the game. And Derek McInnes went out there to win that game. I thought the press was fantastic. It's been a while since I've ever seen a Hearts team go to Ibrox and press like that. But Shanklin, Kizridis and Braga were outstanding that day. And we've done that most games as well. There's been moments in games with a little bit of a lull where we've not quite been as good. But so far, after 7 games, I'm very happy with how things have gone. Because I did not see this coming. But it's trying to keep that momentum going and build on that. Rugby Park, as I say, is not going to be easy. But I think if we want to keep trying to go on this run and keep trying to build momentum, we have to go there and win. If we get a draw, would I be gutted? No, I wouldn't be. But I'd love to go there and get a win. Like Rugby Park, as I've said, is so difficult to go to with that plastic pitch they've got. And Stuart Kettlewell has done very well so far. And I think he will have Kilmarnock up for this. They've got a lot of decent players there. They don't have the boy Daniels up front. He's out for probably the rest of the season. But they do have Dackers, who's 6'7" striker. He's going to cause problems. I think they'll probably play Dackers and Bruce Anderson up front. So they will be a threat. But we've got so much more threat than them, I believe. And options off the bench as well. So I'm intrigued to see how we're going to do this. I'm intrigued to see how we're going to play. When that team sheet drops about, 4:30, 4:45 kickoff, I'm intrigued to see if we do make any changes. I don't think we'll make a lot. If we do make changes, it won't be very much, I don't think. But I just want to see us go there, have a go, and win that game, and then go to that Celtic game full of confidence. Because that Celtic game could be absolutely massive. Like, if we go to Kilmarnock and win, go 5 points clear. Okay, Celtic beat Dundee, 2 points clear. If we then beat Celtic and go 5 points clear again, that could be huge. Absolutely huge. And I think a lot of Hearts fans might then start thinking, we could actually win this league. But like McInnes has said, I think we need to get through a couple of round of fixtures first. Let's see where we are in January. And we'll strengthen again. We've got Chesnikov coming in January. I don't think we'll get his compatriot Kesenbeck. There's a lot of teams after him, including Celtic. So that probably won't happen. But if we are still in there come January, whether we're top or second, a couple of points behind, Tony Bloom may decide, you know what, let's go for this. Let's chunk more money at this. But let's just see how far we can go so far. There's only another, 5 games till the next international break, which is shite, to be honest. It just breaks momentum. You want the next game when you're winning. But unfortunately, the international break is going to break that momentum if we're doing well. But there's certainly no reason Hearts shouldn't go to Rugby Park full of confidence. Yes, it'll be difficult. Yes, the whole Derek McInnes factor. But I am confident Hearts can win this game. It will be tough, but I am confident Hearts will win. As I say, I'm going to see 2-1 Hearts. Goal scorers for me, I'm going to go Claudio Braga and Kizridis. But we've played 12 games in all competitions. We've scored 33 goals, which is outstanding. Yes, I know that 4 of those games were League Cup games against draws. But I've seen Hearts lose these games before or not do that well. So it's great to see the amount of goal scorers we've got. Shanklin's got 7, you've got Braga on 6, you've got Kizzy on 4, you've got Halkett on 4, Finlay on 4, McEntee's got a goal. We're such a threat going forward now. and we're a threat from set pieces. Something that I've longed for Hearts to do for a while is score goals to set pieces. Because for so long I've seen Hearts get corners or free kicks and think this will come to nothing. But now you actually think, we can score for this. So there's a lot of positivity in Hearts just now. Understandably so. And I just want to see us keep that going and keep building momentum. And if we can get to January still in there, maybe you might start to think, actually, Hearts could do this. But right now, I just don't think we're going to be consistent enough to put up a challenge. Hope I'm wrong, though. I really hope I'm wrong. And the Hearts can keep that going. But let's look forward to Saturday. Let's get Kilmarnock out the way. And then we can focus on that absolutely massive game against Celtic next Sunday. Anyway, I'm just going to do a short one today because I'm choked with the cold anyway, as you can probably tell the amount of mistakes I've made. Anyway, have a cracking night, cracking day, whatever time you're watching this, and roll on Saturday. Come on the Jambos.